In a car wash, a worker guiding a vehicle into position was suddenly struck when the car accelerated unexpectedly, pinning him against the wall. This incident highlights the extreme risks of working directly in the path of moving vehicles. Operators must ensure vehicles are fully under control before allowing workers to guide them, and workers should maintain safe distances and hand signals from vehicle paths. Emergency stop systems, communication protocols, and designated guiding zones are critical to preventing crush injuries and struck by accidents in car wash operations. In a recycling facility, a worker walking to his station was struck by a reversing forklift carrying a heavy load, causing him to fall and become pinned under the rear of the vehicle while nearby coworkers rushed to assist. This incident highlights the severe dangers of pedestrian and vehicle interactions in industrial settings. Walkways and forklift traffic lanes must be clearly separated, and operators must use mirrors, alarms, and spotters when reversing. Workers should remain aware of moving equipment, wear high-visibility clothing, and maintain safe distances from active machinery. Strict adherence to traffic management plans and pedestrian safety protocols is essential to prevent crushing injuries and fatalities in busy facilities. Outside a courier facility, a worker carrying a heavy box fell to the ground when the loading platform connecting the bay to the truck collapsed under the weight. The box he was transporting also toppled onto him, causing serious injury. This incident highlights the dangers of using inadequately rated or unstable loading platforms. Platforms must be inspected for load capacity and structural integrity before use, and heavy items should be moved using mechanical aids whenever possible. Workers should avoid overloading platforms and ensure loads are balanced. Proper training and equipment inspection are essential to prevent falls and crush injuries during loading operations. At a house, a resident was struck on the head by a sliding metal gate that unexpectedly fell as she closed it and walked away, pinning her to the ground. This incident highlights the dangers of unsecured or poorly maintained gates. Sliding gates must be regularly inspected for loose tracks, faulty rollers, or weakened supports. Residents should avoid standing directly under gates during operation, and safety stops or latches should be installed to prevent accidental falls. Regular maintenance and awareness of potential pinch and crush hazards are essential to prevent severe head and body injuries in residential settings. At a building construction site, multiple workers were struck and injured when a crane carrying long rebar bundles hit them as the load was being repositioned for lifting. This incident highlights the dangers of uncontrolled suspended loads and poor exclusion zone management. Long materials like rebar can easily swing or rotate, creating wide strike zones. Loads must be properly balanced, and tag lines must be used to control movement, while workers must stay clear of active lifting areas. Crane operators and ground crews must maintain constant communication, and clearly marked exclusion zones should be enforced during lifts. On a provincial highway, a 10-wheeler truck made a turn when its spare wheel unexpectedly disengaged from beneath the vehicle, striking a highway worker from behind and crushing him. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of unsecured vehicle components and the catastrophic consequences they can have for roadside workers. Trucks must undergo regular inspections to ensure all wheels, spare tires, and undercarriage equipment are properly fastened and secured before driving. Highway personnel should maintain a safe distance from moving vehicles whenever possible, and warning systems or barriers should be in place in active work zones. In a communal kitchen, a worker was thrown back and scalded when an industrial pressure cooker suddenly exploded, launching its lid and showering him with boiling water. This incident highlights the severe hazards associated with pressurized cooking equipment. Pressure cookers must be regularly inspected for faulty seals, blocked vents, and damaged locking mechanisms before use. Operators should never stand directly over or brace pressurized vessels, and pressure must be fully released before opening or handling. Proper training, routine maintenance, and clear safety procedures are essential to prevent explosive failures and serious burn injuries in commercial kitchens. During a house renovation project, a worker fell from a second-floor height after slipping while transitioning from a balcony onto a ladder that had been leaned from another roof, causing both the ladder and worker to drop to the ground below. This incident highlights the dangers of unstable ladder setups and unsafe transitions between elevated surfaces. Ladders must be placed on firm, level ground and securely tied off at the top and bottom before use. Workers should avoid stepping between structures unless proper bridging or scaffolding is installed, and 3 points of contact must be maintained at all times. At a drive-in car wash, a worker power washing the floor was pulled into an active rolling brush after getting too close, causing him to spin rapidly before being thrown to the ground. This incident highlights the extreme danger of performing cleaning or maintenance while machinery is still operating. All moving equipment must be fully shut down and locked out before workers enter the area. Car wash brushes should never be left running during floor cleaning, and clear lockout/tagout procedures must be followed at all times. Proper training and strict enforcement of shutdown protocols are essential to prevent entanglement injuries and violent throwdown incidents in automated wash facilities. At a mail facility, a worker was crushed when a forklift operator raised the forks to tilt a large mail cart, causing the cart to tip over and fall onto him while co-workers rushed to his aid. This incident highlights the dangers of improper forklift handling and unstable loads. Forks should remain low and level when positioning or approaching carts, and loads must be secured before any lifting or tilting. Pedestrians must stay clear of forklift operating zones, and operators should ensure no one is standing beside a load during movement. Proper forklift training and strict material handling procedures are essential to prevent severe crush injuries in busy mail facilities. In a neighborhood, a pedestrian walking along the sidewalk was suddenly crushed when a remaining wall from a newly demolished building unexpectedly leaned and collapsed onto him. This incident highlights the extreme danger of unstable structures following demolition work. Partially standing walls must be properly braced, supported, or removed immediately, and demolition zones should be clearly barricaded to keep pedestrians well away from hazardous areas. Warning signage, spotters, and controlled exclusion perimeters are critical whenever structural elements remain standing. Thorough site assessments and strict public safety controls are essential to prevent catastrophic collapse incidents in residential neighborhoods. Outside a government facility, a security guard was struck by a sliding gate that unexpectedly fell as he turned away after closing it. Luckily, a trash can in front of him prevented him from being fully pinned to the ground. This incident highlights the dangers of malfunctioning or poorly maintained sliding gates. Proper maintenance, combined with heightened situational awareness and the implementation of additional physical safeguards such as barriers or warning systems, is essential to significantly reduce the risk of severe crush injuries and ensure that personnel remain safe when operating or being near heavy gate mechanisms.